You know, self-storage is as much a retail play as it is a real estate play. In fact, in many ways, it's more of an ongoing operating retail business than it is a real estate play. Now let's talk about how that impacts you in today's market as you're getting in or growing your self-storage business. Hello, my name's Mark Helm, and I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Quick Start Academy. And what I do is I support the small investor who wants to get in the self-storage business or who wants to grow their self-storage business, strategically do so in a way that creates true wealth and a fulfilling career. And the majority of us come from a real estate background, and we relate to self-storage like it's an apartment building or a retail building. I suggest that in today's market, we need to be relating to our self-storage facilities more like a business owner or a retailer than a landlord. Here's the thing, we don't have leases. We have contracts. The people who rent our space, they're not tenants, they're customers. We don't even have a landlord-tenant relationship with our customers. Now, if you have a mixed-use facility where you've got some office or retail customers as well as self-storage, and those in that portion of the project are tenants, and you do have a landlord relationship. But mostly in self-storage, we don't have a landlord-tenant relationship. We have customers. And as you probably know, in most sub-markets today, or many sub-markets, there is new space hitting it, and all of us are competing for the same pool of customers. Now, our marketing expenses have gone up, and probably yours have too, but they've gone up in every project we're involved with. Even the projects that we're at 96%, we're spending more on marketing than we ever have. Now, as new space hits the market, very often what happens is the new space or a new managed facility, especially if it's a REIT managed facility, will start offering incentives. We had a project where we were at 96, 97%, 100% climate control project. We were getting $149 for a 10 by 10. We had a new project come into that sub-market, 100% climate control, and what they did was offer 2 months free rent and 10 by 10s at $70. Now, what would you do in that case? Would you match it? Would you try to beat it? Well, as I'm working with people, and this happens in a lot of sub-markets with people I'm working with, that's their question to me. And I turn around and I usually have 3 questions for them. And here are the 3 questions. What is the value of customer today for you at that facility? What is your current occupancy rate? And are you profitable? In other words, is the income greater than your operating expenses and your loan payment, your debt service? Well, what I've discovered is most operators know the answer to number 2 and 3, but they don't have a clue on question 1. What is the average value of a customer? Well, for us, without that information, it's hard for us to come up with a strategy to react to the market. What most people do, and believe me, I've done it too, but what most of us do is we just react. We throw anything out there, hoping that it'll work. Now, hoping that a strategy works is not a very good business strategy. So what would you do in that case that we had? We had high occupancy. The competition was free rent, 2 months, and half of what we were offering. Actually, a little under half of what we were offering. What would you do? Well, what we did was, the answer to the first question was, the average value of a customer there at that time was $3,208. Now here's how you get that. With today's software, it is so easy to figure out the average value of a customer. First thing we did was we went on one of the demographic reports and we looked at what is the average stay of a customer in that facility. The average stay was 652 days. So in other words, of all the people that have ever rented there, the average length of stay for a customer at that time was 652 days. It's actually gone up now. The next thing we did is we looked at not the gross potential income, but the gross income of all the rented units. What is the income we're currently getting, and how many customers do we have generating that income? And what that did was it told us the average rental rate that we're getting out of our customer base. So with the average rent price, and based on how long the average person stays, we know the average value of a customer. At that time, it was $3,208. Now, if you had an average value of $3,200 per customer, would you spend $500 to get $3,200? What if the average value of your customer was $800? Would you spend $500 to get $800? Well, maybe not. So what we decided to do was, we were profitable. We decided not to try to match or beat what the competition was doing. What we decided to do was market the differences between our facility and the competition. And one of the big differences was that our competition was offering a lot of incentives to get people in, and what we discovered was 2, 3, 4 months later, they've had 2 or 3 price increases. After the incentives burn off, prices go up for them. So we devised a marketing strategy that targeted as many people who rent at the competition as we could figure out how to get in front of using Facebook and Google. And we said that we would lock your rate in for 6 months, or in some cases a year. And what happened was, yes, our occupancy went down. We went to the mid-80s. At one point, we got as low as 83%, but it's now up in the mid-80s to high 80s consecutively, depending on what month we're at. But more importantly, what we did was we kept the per square foot income high. Even during that time, that was the highest per square foot income project in the portfolio I'm involved with. And thus, we kept the value of the asset very high. But that was because we knew the value of a customer, we knew what we could spend on marketing, and we knew how it would most likely impact the value of the asset. So we made that decision there. Now, we've had other projects where we're in lease-up, for example. The lease-up's going slow. The average value of a customer is $800 or $900, and we're not at above break even. What would you do there? Well, we will do almost anything it takes to get a customer in there. Per square foot income is not my main concern at that point, at this point with that facility. I'm interested in getting people in there, and we can raise the rents after we get a good customer base. So without knowing your numbers, it's hard to react to the increased competition that we're going to have. I'm amazed at how many people do not know the average value of a customer. What you don't want to do is just be reacting to the marketplace. Believe me, if you've got larger companies in your marketplace, they know their numbers. And with the software out there, there is no reason why the small operator cannot be making data-driven decisions and be operating at the same level or close to it that a REIT or a large operator is out there. One of the reasons I do these episodes and spend time doing this is because one of my missions is to raise the level and close the gap between the small operator and the large operators in the self-storage industry. This is a fantastic business that offers more to the small investor than any other asset class there is out there. But unlike any other asset class out there, we've got to relate to our storage facilities as business owners, not as landlords. And we have to start making more data-driven decisions. So next time I run into you and I ask you, or someone else asks you, what's the average value of a customer at your facility? My hope is that your answer will be something like, well, that depends. Depends on which one of my facilities you're asking about. And you know the value at all of them. So thank you very much. My name is Mark Helm. I'm the author of Creating Wealth Through Self-Storage, and I'm the creator of the Storage World Analyzer. That's the financial analysis tool we use to analyze storage opportunities, whether they're existing, expansions, conversions, or new construction. If you're using Excel, great, but I invite you to explore using the Storage World Analyzer. I use it every day in my business. So thank you very much. I look forward to being with you again soon, and I'll see you then.